Game Dev Tycoon. Game Dev Tycoon needs to learn that when it comes to relationships, it's cool that it wants to spend all day together, but I need some free time by myself, you know? God, man, this game is extremely addictive, and it's really easy to sink 3+ hours into it and only feel like an hour has gone by. You play a small game developer in the beginning ages of the world of video gaming, and, if you're successful, the company will grow through each console generation. The game follows the story of personal computers and video game consoles accurately. Events like the Genesis bringing out more mature content, and the emotionally crippling tale of the rise and fall of the Dreamcast all affect the quote-unquote story. Other types of world events will affect the game, as well as having a booth at the E3 Knockoff Expo, being interviewed by gaming publications, or having Nigerian royalty try to swindle you out of your money. Obviously, the meat and potatoes of this game is creating video games. A lot of customization options are available to you, and it kind of becomes an issue of trial and error to see what works and what doesn't. Initially, you pick a game theme like fantasy, romance, or hospital, combine it with a genre like adventure or RPG, and then decide on what platform you wish to release it for. As the years go by, you can research new options like target markets, game size, combination genres, multi-platform releases, and custom game engines. We're going to talk about that last one in more detail a little later. Once you have all the initial details picked out, it's time for you to get down to creation. As your character works away, he will produce design and technology points for the game. These points are part of your character's skill set. As you begin to hire on more people, you will find some have high tech skills better suited for crafting AI, or high design skills better suited for making world design. Each character also has a speed stat, obviously calculating how fast they work, and a research stat for how many research points, or RP, they make while working. There are 3 development stages while making the game. Each one presents you with 3 slider bars attached to certain game design aspects. Adjusting what the game needs more or less of will affect on how well it's made. For example, don't expect to see high review scores for an action game that has a heavy focus on dialogue instead of AI. During development, you can also spend money on marketing campaigns to fuel hype for the game. Other world events like expo booths and publication interviews can boost hype as well. With development done and the game released, you can also do a game report to find out what went well and what went wrong as the review scores come in and the game's sales are tracked. Obviously, the point of the game is to stay successful and not end up bankrupt, but there's a lot more fun to be had than just looking at sales graphs and hoping you made a sizable net profit. Creating games is honestly pretty fun, especially when you intend to make a real-world game and see how it does in the Tycoon. Events happen at a steady enough pace that your development team always has something to attend to, be it development, research, or training. More importantly though, there's a very rewarding feeling from seeing a successful game be released. The only part of the game I have issue with is the custom game engine. One of the biggest uses that RP has is researching new game mechanics. With some RP and money, you can have one of your workers research multiplayer, surround sound, branching storylines, day and night cycles, and so on and so forth. These game mechanics have to be put into a custom game engine for them to be used during development, and at the beginning stages of game creation, you can only choose one custom game engine to work with. Because creating a custom game engine is pricey, you won't want to create a new one every time you research a new mechanic or two, so it kinda becomes complicated on when you want to create a new custom game engine and what you want to put in it. The issue I have is that once you make a new game engine, there isn't a list of what game mechanics it has. Or at least I haven't found one. I mean, you can see the mechanic choices during development, but by that time you've already dedicated finances to making the game. This makes deciding when to update and make a new engine difficult because you have no way of instantly accessing what was in the old engine. Hopefully, there's just some option prompt somewhere that I'm missing. Custom game engine difficulties aside, Game Dev Tycoon is a rather easy game to pick up and get lost in. It has a smooth, relaxing pace to it and makes it the perfect type of game to play after a long day at work. If you have a couple extra bucks in your pocket and are looking for a good game to unwind with, then I highly recommend Game Dev Tycoon.